This is the Marvel Legends Series 3.75-inch Marvel's Rogue. The figure is part of the third wave of these new 3.75-inch figures for 2016. I picked up this figure at Kramer Toy Warden over at Green Hills, and here's the rest of the assortment. Go check out my reviews of these figures as well. Rogue can absorb the superhuman abilities of others, making her powers nearly unlimited. Yeah, right, sure. If you weren't alive, if you weren't reading comic books before Jim Lee started drawing the X-Men, you probably won't recognize this figure. It looks like the classic Rogue to me. The pre-Jim Lee era, before they went into the Siege Perilous. Yeah, the Siege Perilous, before she got changed and reborn in the Savage Land. It looks like that. It looks like the classic Rogue costume when she joined the X-Men after being part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. The hairstyle, yeah, I think so. Everything about it leads me to believe this is the classic Rogue figure. But regardless of that, you know what? This is a figure I have been out of all of the figures in this wave. This was the figure I was looking forward to the most. Simply put, because I'm an X-Men fan. All of you know that. Most of you know that I'm a big X-Men fan, more than the Avengers. And I was looking for a Rogue to complete my shelf without really opening up my box set, because I didn't want to open that box. I wanted to get a double for that. So, how does she fare? She uses the Infinite Series mold, 2014-2015, a very forgettable series, but it's a solid torso. There's not much you can do with it. Ball hinge shoulders and elbows, no wrist articulation, fully articulated legs, ball joint hip, double jointed knees, or no hip, ball hinge ankles with the rocker joints, and she's got a ball jointed neck. You know, a lot of you are gonna hate on this figure because it doesn't use a more modern, like it didn't recycle any of the old. They recycled the Psylocke mold, or man, they could have used this mold. This mold would have been perfect for Rogue. I think, with all the articulation, and I think the height would have been great. She was pretty tall. A lot of you are hating on this figure, but you know what? It turned out okay. I think the figure more than made up the detail of the figures detail, the color scheme they chose, the head sculpt, I think more than make up for the lack of articulation. It's not going to get a perfect score from me, but it's Rogue. I'm a little bit biased for the X-Men, and I'm liking this figure. I think this one, then Quasar, Hydra Man, with Morbius being the worst of the wave. So the head sculpt turned out great. The hair is nicely sculpted. The face is painted nicely, lipstick on, the eyes are okay, hair, everything about it is great. Green, they used this dark gray plastic bordering on black. Green, a separate white belt piece, which is great. That's great detail to put on that. So paint apps turned out great. The sculpt, okay. I think the head sculpt is okay. Lack of articulation, given that. I think this figure deserves an 8.5 out of 10, maybe a 9 out of 10 for me, because I'm biased. But if I weren't biased, it would be just an 8. But I do like the figure. I think you should get it on retail. Don't pay too much for it. Definitely don't pay scalper prices for it. If you can get it on clearance, better. So with the other female body figures, I think this is still the best. I think she would have looked great here. I would have been happy with this one, but this one, okay, acceptable. So, before going into the Siege Perilous, she'd probably look great with these other guys. Maybe, I don't know, maybe if you had the Havoc. You notice I've kept this guy mint. He's just tremendously hard to come by. This would be a great great setup on your shelf. I mean, Silvestri or Simonson, Romita, back in the day before Jim Lee came on board for the X-Men. This was the X-Men team. If you already have this Rogue figure, this is the one to get. You sure? It'd be nice to have another one. But if you want to choose one, this is the one you want to get. This is the one you want to pick up. The Jim Lee era, 90s X-Men cartoon type of Rogue. That's the one you want to get. Especially now that a 6-inch figure, I think, is coming out. Man, it's going to be very difficult to get that. So, with that said, I thought it was pretty nice. I think it was a good effort. I wish they would have used the X23 mold or the old Jean Grey Psylocke Storm mold. But okay, not too bad. There you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed this little video review. The Marvel Legends series 3.75 inch Marvel's Rogue. Thanks for watching.